We're going to go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of the podcast, guys. Today, we're going to be talking about Black Cake. It is a show on Hulu, it's an original series, and it is an adaptation from the Charmaine Wilkerson's New York Times best-selling novel. And the series is about a family drama wrapped in a murder mystery. The show really it starts with Byron and Benny. They find out that their mother, Eleanor Bennett, has passed away. She lost the battle to cancer. And when they are settling the estate of their mother's affairs, they find out that she has left recordings for them to listen to. And these recordings chronicleize her life and everything that she has gone through from when she was a young woman until the time she became their mother. The show starts in the present and then goes to the past, taking us through her life and how Byron and Benny are dealing with, learning things about their mother that they didn't know. What were your initial thoughts when you started watching Black Cake? Because I think you watched it before I did.
Yes, I've been watching it since the first two episodes aired. I was waiting for the show to come out. I was excited to see it.
Mm-hmm.
My mom had read the book, so she told me about it, but I didn't have any background as far as where that story was going, other than the trailer and then a little Google search. And I don't even think I did that before I watched it. I just was like, I'm watching it. It was Oprah. I'm here for it. So I was into it after those first two episodes. I was like, this is definitely going to be a story, a rabbit hole, especially how they started it. I feel like they really took you on her life journey when it was ending and kind of the beginning at the same time. So they really got me in those first two episodes. And I watched every single Wednesday after that.
I do think the show is really great. I do love, especially the first two episodes were really good. Um, what a way to start off the show. First of all, a young woman running down a hill in the forest in her wedding dress, running towards the ocean. I was like, oh, we in for it now. It's
Right.
like,
Already.
already, we starting off strong. Okay. I think that it was really beautiful, some of the shots, especially when they're in Jamaica, because it's such a beautiful island. I think my initial thoughts for the show was that this feels a little soap opera y, just like a little bit. I did like the writing and where the story was going. I love the initial premise of the show. I love, your mom passes away, she leaves these recordings for you to listen to, and you have to kind of understand and unravel who this person is, because she's not the mom that you thought that you knew. She's someone entirely different. And you start learning all these things about her, and I feel like it's such an interesting concept, and I think it's so beautiful how they did it. And it's also really sad and heartbreaking to watch it, because you're sitting there and you're discovering another side of this person that you knew your whole life, and you never really got the chance to get to know them or learn this while they're there, so you can better understand them,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it would be too painful to learn when they're alive or just be too hard.
And she dumped so much on them. It wasn't
Yeah.
like it was a light story. It was like every episode she was dropping bombs. Oh, it was like, wow, you are not even close to the same person.
Mm.
Um, yeah, it was from those first two episodes. That's why I said it really starts you out in the beginning and the end of where her story starts at the same time, because they unraveled so much that happened in the middle and went back and forth. And what I
Mm-hmm.
really loved is how they were telling her story, and we were also getting the feelings of the kids and what was actually happening in real time. So it was you could see the effects later, and this. I felt like the show was very well written. It was definitely a drama. I don't know if I would call it soapy, because I
Mm.
think I just attribute soapy to these super dramatic extra
Yeah.
actors that kind of thing. But I can definitely see how it was a very dramatic story, because she kept dropping bombs on them. Just
Mm-hmm.
when you thought she was like, "Oh, I did this," she started out with a new name, and then it just kept going after that. It was like,
Yeah.
wow.
Of course, how dramatic the revelations are and all these things that they're learning about their mom, a lot of the reactions, me personally, I feel like they should have had bigger reactions. Because if I had found out that my mom's name is not even Eleanor, it's Covey, I'll be like, wait,
Whoa.
hold on. Covey? Coventina?
Wait, who is this woman then?
Yeah, like who is this lady? You're
I was
like,
saying her bombs were like, oh, I got a new name. Oh, this happened. It was like, I have a kid. Wow, what's happening? You
one
couldn't tell
after
me
the
if this
other.
were alive. Yeah, it definitely was a little sad, like a constant sad overtone the whole story. I will
Mm-hmm.
say.
It's kind of heartbreaking because you learn all these secrets about your mom after they pass away, and then you're kind of just left with it, you know? And I can't imagine how Eleanor felt living her life with her kids that are grown and her husband and the story that she has and not being able to share that with anybody, but having to like, hide that inside herself. And I'm sure there are plenty of people who have said that like they learn a lot of stuff about their parents when they're on the deathbeds. Like people who work in retirement homes always talk about how like people on the
Yeah,
deathbeds reveal a
all
lot of
this.
stuff. I don't know why, but like when her father sold her, essentially like sold her to Little Man, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
this can't be the way. We gotta do
You know what's
something.
about
This
that.
can't be it. Like, we gotta save her.
We
Yeah.
got to get her out. They definitely created a good sense of like she has to go soon in those first couple episodes. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, we got to get Cody out.
Yeah.
You could like, but like you were also understanding why she was doing what she was doing. But for some reason, at the end, she never could tell her kids why she did what she was doing. Go
If she
ahead.
told her kids, she would have to tell them everything. That's the
Yeah, but
thing.
you would think after all that time, you had moved continents,
Mm-hmm.
multiple continents,
Mm-hmm.
countries. She was trying to hide that secret. But what I did love was that the husband was in on it for a lot of it. Not he wasn't even in on everything, but I
Yeah.
loved that part when that I was like, that has to be his dad. That's what I thought when I saw Byron. I was like, but Gibbs has to be his dad. That just
Yeah.
they the casting in this was excellent. But
Yeah.
that's what I saw in that. So, but she still wasn't telling him everything. But I love that she was able to at least tell him that part of the secret.
Mm-hmm.
She had a little something.
Yeah. And I think that it's very interesting how much Benny is like her mom, but also like Bunny in a way, where she kind of is very passionate and she has like different interests. And I definitely related a lot to Benny because I know what it's like to be like. I mean, she's the youngest. She really is the
Mhm.
youngest, and I'm not the youngest. I'm the second oldest, but when you're the child, you're a child, and your parents are like, not from this country, they're immigrant parents, you're a first generation kid, and there is this expectation of you to be like their shining light, or, they're like get out of jail free card or something like that. And if you feel like you're not living up to that expectation or you're not living up to what you think that they want from you, then you feel like you're failing or you feel like you're not measuring up to it. And it is very sad what happened at Thanksgiving with Benny, but I don't
Mhm.
think she should have taken it out on Yoshi. I think that's her name. I may have
The
that.
girlfriend she had.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely should have taken it out on her.
Nope.
That was not her fault.
No. No, she was trying to help you.
Yeah, Betty had a lot going on,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like the story was that she learned all about her mom after she died, and when she needed to learn it, like while it was happening, if that makes sense. And that was kind of like this two stories you were getting. Luckily, at the end, she like understood, like I'm literally being my mother again, but
Mm-hmm.
having missing all those parts was like really messing with her because she thought she had to be perfect,
Mm-hmm.
not realizing that she was literally doing becoming what her mom was. So, and she thought her mom was just this prim, proper person, and she wasn't even that person. She had a whole new name.
Her mama literally
Was a whole different
ran
person.
ran away from the island, started living in a boarding house, and I'm not gonna lie, when she first said like I can't be Cavatina, Eleanor will have to die, I'm like, we're gonna kill Eleanor?
Can't.
No, I like her. I was like, no, we can't do this.
She has to stay.
She has to stay. She's our friend. But then when the train came off the tracks, I was like, uh-uh. I actually was
Not
like,
expecting that to be the
no,
how you got that name.
no.
Whoa.
What's
Not
happening?
you didn't kill off your friend, but that's where I thought this was going, and that's not what happened, and now it's even sadder. Like, wow.
You actually make a friend with somebody and then they die, and then you just like assume
I'm
their
ignorant.
identity. I mean, she kind of didn't have a choice in the matter. Like, it was
Yeah.
really just, it really was set up for her to like kind of like slide into that role and be like, okay, well, I guess I'm Eleanor now. Things did not end well for her though. In that, in Scotland, it was. Is that
When
what she
she
went?
took that job.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And
Yeah.
when they first told you about Scotland, when she first told them about Scotland, she had left that part out. And
Mm-hmm.
then it like circled back to like what happened. And I was like, oh, she was like, that was like an even deeper secret into the original because you already kind of dropped that you were there and nobody knew that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she was very careful about her secrets and how she was telling them, and that would be a terrifying way to live, but it was great for the show.
I mean, it was wonderful for the show, and I did like the scene where I think it was Gibbs. He like it kind of slipped out when he said Cavatina to
Yeah,
Eleanor,
she's
but
soft.
the kids didn't even notice. They were like they didn't even hear it.
Nah. And she had to leave and get herself together. I
Yes,
didn't even notice. They didn't miss a beat. Nobody said anything.
no one, no one
Because that
said.
was like that the person is like not even like a thought to them. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that was the point of the scene. Like that meant so much to her in that moment that she had to step away. But for them, it literally went right over their heads because they had no idea that
Like
their
who's
mom
Covey?
was not the person they thought.
Yeah, they're like who's Covey?
It must just be their accent or something. Like they literally just went
Yeah,
all over their heads.
yes. Speaking of, what did you think of the actors in the show?
They were bad,
Because
especially Bunny's at the end. I was like, Bunny is being 80 years old and probably she's from America. Like she would definitely have an accent right now. Pretty sure all of these are made. I was looking up the people like I was like, these people cannot be from Jamaica. Nobody is actually from Jamaica, right? Because these accents are off.
I feel like because the show is executive produced through the own network, you guys obviously have the budget to find people or maybe like hire dialect coaches, you know?
Yeah, that's what they needed dialect because I feel like the casting for this, I guess as far as who they chose and like her dad being this Jamaican or Chinese Jamaican
Mm-hmm.
and like what she looked like, I was like, and even her the older version, the younger version, I was like, you guys did excellent on like matching all these people up and making this make sense. Like
Mm-hmm.
even the background story of the dad and how he got there, they added all that up for everybody. Like you don't have any
Mm-hmm.
question.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely could have used a lot of work on those accents. I'm not even Jamaican, and I was like, this don't even sound right.
It really did feel like session one of like accent work. Like, let's try a Jamaican accent.
Literally, it was like a 1 day class, and everybody
Yeah.
just ran with it. It's a great show, but no, the accents weren't great.
No, I remember I was like watching the show, and the actress who plays her mom, her name's Jada Estelle, and I remember her from this is gonna be so random. Dirk Gently's Detective Academy, which was a show that was on the BBC that only lasted like 2 seasons, and
Okay,
Elijah Wood was in the show. It's like so
so
random.
clearly not Jamaican.
No, not Jamaican. She is like she's very much American. So I saw her in the show and I was like, girl.